Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. One of the best ways to reduce stress and recover from sore muscles is to utilize the foam roller. Today's class will focus on foam rolling each of the main muscle groups of the body, diving deeper into possible trigger points, finishing with extra stretching for increased mobility, hydration, and nutrients for the tissue. We will include the head, neck, and shoulders to really get you feeling good. You'll need 2 tennis balls and that foam roller. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to start seated on the roller with the glute. I'm going to start on the left butt cheek. So let's all start on that left glute. And we're going to reach the left hand behind us. You can always put a yoga block under your hand if you have any wrist issues, or you can put on the knuckle or have the block higher for your elbow. Then we're going to use the feet to roll the top and the bottom of that glute. So we just want to start with a gentle bit of a warm-up as we roll. And we're going to slowly get deeper and deeper into that tissue of that glute, of all those different glute muscles. Now we're going to take that left leg and we're going to cross it over the right thigh, and we're going to roll again. All the way to the bottom, like where those sits bones are, and then all the way to the top, going up into the hip, pushing that knee open as you roll. All the way to the top and the bottom. Then we're going to go to the middle of that glute, and you're going to drop to your elbow, and you're going to rock side to side. So you're going to bring that knee towards the roller and then away from the roller. And then drop that knee towards the roller, open it up, place that right foot firmly on the floor. Your left leg, you're going to straighten it out, but hold it above the floor. And now roll a little more towards your left side. Good, and then pull the knee towards the chest, and then release it straight out. Pull it towards the chest. Release it out, chest. We got one more. Reach it out, and then pull it in. Good. Now we're going to slowly lift ourselves up. And I'm going to have you turn over, lean to the other side. We're going to the right side. I'm just going to flip around here. So we're going to the right butt cheek. So again, like I said, we're just warming up that tissue, massaging it gently. So start with the feet flat on the floor, right hand behind you. And we're going to roll to the top and the bottom of that glute. All the way. And just notice the difference on this side. Take note, which side seems more tender or sensitive? One more, top and the bottom. Then we're going to take that right ankle and cross it over the left thigh and open up that right knee and roll to the top and the bottom. Can you feel that? Any trigger points, speed bumps going on there? Good. One more. And then find the middle of that glute and then just rock side to side. Notice what's going on. And then hold that knee open, drop to the elbow. Good. And then you're going to take that right leg, extend it straight out along the mat. Good. Roll a little more to the right side and then pull the knee in and release. Good. In and release. 2 more times. In and release. 1 more. In and release. Now you're going to go ahead and roll off of the roller. Now, like I said, we're going to get a little deeper into the glute. So go ahead and place the roller to your side. And this is where you're going to want 1 tennis ball. So grab that tennis ball. Seated, place the feet flat on the floor out in front of your knees bent. And I'm going to have you lean to your right side and take the tennis ball and place it under the left butt cheek, right under that left glute. Bring your hands behind you on the back. Now, if it bothers your wrist, an option here is to bring the roller behind you, and you can also lean on the roller. And you're just going to drop that knee open and closed. Or you can just have the roller supporting your low back, holding your hands behind it. So dropping it, I'm just going to move that so you can see a little better. So dropping that knee, left knee drops open to the side and then comes back up, back and forth. So it's getting a little deeper. You might find some trigger spots there, some points there. Try to lessen the pressure if it hurts too much. Good, now one more, and then pull the knee up and then slide your body slightly forward so that tennis ball goes higher up on that glute, and then drop that knee again, open and closed. And just notice what you have going on there. Good. Now we're going to pull the knee up. Go ahead and drop down. Now if the roller's behind you, go ahead and move it away. Drop to your left elbow. Slide your body slightly to the right so that tennis ball moves to the outer edge of the left glute. And then drop that knee to the left knee to the left, and then straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. So that right leg is still bent, foot is on the floor, and you're sliding that knee in and out. So we're getting a little deeper. Make adjustments if you need to move down further to get that tennis ball higher up. It's up to you where you go with it. And again, keeping the pressure what's comfortable to you. One more. There we go. And then we're going to slide off of that tennis ball. Go ahead and sit all the way up. And then now before we go to the other side, take your tennis ball, place it to the side, and we're going to straighten out both legs. And then take that left leg that you were just rolling, that left glute and hip, cross the foot, place it on the floor. Give that left knee a squeeze. Hug it in, lift up tall, straighten out that right ankle, right leg, and flex the ankle. And then just add a little twist here. So you're really stretching through that glute. It feels so good. And we're going to get one more deeper stretch in there after we do the other side. We'll do them both on our backs. So we got fun stuff. We're going to hit the hamstrings, the calves today. Some different stretches for every area, the upper back and shoulder blades, and of course the quads. Can't forget the quads. And then we're also going to get some good neck and shoulder stretches and foam rolling and tennis ball work up there. Get nice and deep. So we're going to release that leg. All right, so now we're going to go to the other side. So we're going to the right butt cheek. So I want you to take your tennis ball in the right hand, lean to the left butt cheek. Place the tennis ball under the right glute or butt cheek. Good. And lean onto it now with body weight that's comfortable. Take your right knee. The knees are bent, feet flat. Drop the knee open and closed. It's a great way to get into that tissue. Again, you can have the roller behind you if that's more comfortable, or have your elbows on it, on that roller. And after we rolled it, hopefully this isn't not as sensitive, getting that tennis ball in there. Now we're going to bring that knee up, slide the body forward slightly so the tennis ball goes higher up onto the glute, and then drop that knee open and closed. And relax those shoulders while you're here. Good. One more, drop it open and closed. Pull the knee up. Good, now we're going to drop to the right elbow. Shift your body, slide it slightly to your left so the tennis ball moves to the right edge of your right glute, and then drop that knee open and closed. Did you find a spot? Maybe your knee doesn't drop all the way open. Maybe this side's a little more tender. Everyone's a little different. Just don't force it. Almost there. Good. Now pull that knee up. We're going to come all the way up. Go ahead and remove that tennis ball. Set it to the side. We're going to straighten out the legs. And then we're going to cross the right leg. Place the foot flat on the floor on the outside of the left. Straighten out the left leg and the spine, and twist and pull. Stretching that glute and that hip. And just breathe. You want this to feel good. We're not forcing anything. And I have another stretch for you it's really good for the sciatic stretch, so the sciatic nerve running through that hip. Good. So now from here, we're going to lay all the way back onto the floor. You can keep the roller down by your feet or above your head. It's up to you. We'll get it in a minute. So on your backs, feet are flat, knees are bent. And just relax for a moment. Good. Now you're going to take your left leg, and I want you to cross the left leg over the right thigh. And the knee, the left knee, is nice and tight over that right thigh. So you're almost like gripping with it. Now take your right foot, and I want you to walk it towards the outside of your mat, or to the edge of it. Good. And then now start to drop both knees to your right. And as you do, maybe reach for your top left knee, and then pull it up towards your, just a little bit towards your chest, so you're really getting a good sciatic stretch here, a good twist through the torso. Just like this. You can bring your right foot out further if you want. You can even do some movements with it, or just hold that stretch. You want this to feel good. And then slowly release, walk that right foot back to center, center your back and your hips. Go ahead and uncross that left leg, and take your right knee now and cross it nice and tight over the left thigh. Nice and tight, get everything in there. Walk your left foot out to the left side, and then start to drop your right knee to the left. So we're doing the opposite way. So really stretching through that whole glute and hip area. You can pull on the knee a little extra, get that little extra sciatic stretch. And breathe, never forcing anything. Both shoulders stay on the floor. One more breath. Remember, it's important to hold these stretches 10 seconds minimum. 20 or 30 seconds is even better. All right, but for time's sake, we're gonna walk that foot back to center, and then we're gonna uncross that knee. Excellent. Now you're gonna roll yourself up. You can hug the knees into your chest, or you can roll to your side to come all the way up. So we're moving on down to hamstrings. So this is where you might want your blocks, unless your arms are super long and you have leverage, lots of leverage. I'm gonna show you options here. So hamstring, we're gonna do one at a time. So I'm gonna move the roller to the side. I'm gonna start on my left hamstring. So I'm sitting on my butt. As you can see, I'm placing my left leg, left hamstring on that roller. Right foot's on the floor. I'm lifting my hips and just rolling that hamstring. Pushing as much weight onto the roller as is comfortable to you. You can even lean side to side, rolling it. I'm going to show you options with the blocks. It gives you a little more leverage. You can get a little higher. And if you really want more pressure, you can cross that right leg over the left thigh and roll. And just try turning the hips as you roll. You can adjust. So just getting into those hamstrings. Go all the way down by the knee, but not behind the knee, and then back up. Trying to relax that leg as much as you can as you roll. Good. Then you're going to lower those hips all the way back down, and we're going to switch legs. So I'm going to stay on this side just to show you the other view. So the right leg goes on the roller. My left leg stays bent, and I lift up. And again, you don't even have to be, if you don't have blocks, you just use those hands. But you try to put as much weight into that foam roller as possible, and it's comfortable. So rolling it, or you can cross the left leg over the right. So you're getting a little more pressure, and then turn that right foot in and out as you rotate into the different areas of that hamstring. And try to go all the way up and all the way down the back of that leg. Good. Are we feeling that? Maybe you found some spots. If you found a spot, you need to pause and maybe rotate the ankle or do a little movement with the knee up and down. That is another way to help get rid of any of that stuck scar tissue, crystallized tissue back in that hamstring, just to move through it. Good, and then when you're done, you're gonna have a seat back on the floor, massage your wrist. It can be a little tough on the wrists. You can slide those blocks out of the way. So we are done with the blocks for now. Now you're gonna take that roller and you're gonna move it down towards your ankles. So we're gonna get a little deeper into the hamstring and the calf, but first we're gonna roll the calf, then get deeper into both. So again, starting with the left leg, I'm doing everything left first this time, today. So left ankle on the shin, not the shin, boy, I can talk. Whoa, scratch that back up. Left ankle right above the ankle, the calf, back of the calf on the roller, right leg on top, and then we're gonna bend and straighten. Now wrist, if they're tired, we can drop to the elbows, and you can even lift your hips slightly off the floor. So I'm gonna give you, again, a couple options. Or you can even drop all the way to your back, and you can press your hips up as you slightly bend and straighten to get a little deeper into those calves. If you find a spot, rotate the ankle, and then you're gonna use the right leg to pull that roller up, bend and straighten. Legs are crossed again. If it's too much pressure, don't lift your hips, and you don't even have to cross your leg over. And then rotate the ankle, and we're gonna move up a little higher into the meaty part of the glute, the calf, the gastrocnemius muscle. It's a little bend and straighten. When you're going up here into the gastroc, make sure you turn your leg maybe a little bit to the right, a little bend and straighten, some ankle rolls, move it to the center, bend and straighten, ankle rolls, and then tilt your body to the left, including that leg, a little bend and straighten to get all areas of it with some ankle rolls. So you get up as high as you can, but not behind the knee, so move that roller a little higher. And then same thing, bend and straighten. Just kind of play around with it, feel what you have going on. If there's a knot, then just rotate the ankle both directions. So we're working our fascia tissue, it's connective tissue through the whole body. So that whatever's going on in the calf, it can affect you all the way in the shoulder. So then we're going to finish that leg, and then we're going to go to the other one. So we're going down to the right ankle. So just move that roller down, cross the left leg on top of the right. And again, a little bend and straighten. And you can stay on your back and just be comfortable. You can push your hips up. You can be on your elbows, and you can be all the way up. So again, just showing options for what feels good to you. Rotating that ankle, and then moving up a little higher, so we're not spending a ton of time on each area. You can always go back to it if you notice a big knot. And sometimes in the calf, we have to go back and repeatedly roll the same area if there's a knot there. Especially if you have plantar fasciitis, you might find some spots. So that just means you do shorter rolls more often to help get that tissue hydrated and flexible, and a lot of stretching. Good, so we're working our way up that calf, rotating the ankle. Move it a little higher. So you're going into the gastrocnemius, the big meaty part, little bend and straighten. Again, I'm just showing options on how you can have your body on the elbows, laying down, bend and straighten, turning. Make sure you're turning that foot, especially as you're getting higher up into that calf. Rotate the ankle. Make sure you're going both directions, tilting your body, moving up a little higher, bend and straighten, rotate the ankle. And say you found a knot and you're just pausing there. Great. Just work through it and then move off of that tender spot or that knot and move on and go back to it later. And then bend and straighten. So we got lots of ground to cover. Rotate that ankle. And that's part of your recovery too. It's just being consistent with foam rolling. Going back to those spots that are really tight or bothering you. So again, you're getting it as high as you can on the calf, but not going right behind the knee. We want to stay right below it. And then rotate that ankle. Did you find a spot? Good. So now that you're finished with that one, All right, so getting a little deeper, so we'll get that tennis ball again, and we'll be stretching in a moment, but first let's dig a little deeper into the calf and the hamstring. I'm sorry, I apologize. You actually need 2 tennis balls here, not 1. If you only have 1, you just do 1 leg at a time, and that's fine. It works as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to place that tennis ball, tuck it in tight between the calf and the hamstring on both legs. Like I said, you can always do 1 at a time. Tuck your toes. If you need something under your knees, like a blanket or a towel or a pillow, that's fine. Toes are tucked, and then you're just gently going to lean back, hips back towards the heels. You can have your hands on the roller, and you're going to rock your heels side to side. So massaging out. It's mostly getting into the calves probably. And then you can untuck the toes and try to go a little lower, but it could cause a little cramping, and it can be also a little challenging if you are super tight. And you might notice one calf tighter than the other. Then we lift up. We're going to move those tennis balls lower on the calf, going towards the heel, so it goes higher up that hamstring. Tuck the toes again, and then lean back. And now you can really lean those hips back and just do a little rock with the hips and the heels side to side. Just again, figuring out what's going on there. And then a little bit lower, lift your hips and lower down. And sit into it. Oh, and I forgot, we can also untuck the toes when we get down low here. And rock it side to side, if that's okay on your knees. If your knees are not going to go there, then just keep those tennis balls higher up, and that's fine. And just a great way to get there. Keep moving those tennis balls down to all the way to the ankles. You might be feeling it going over the Achilles tendon side to side there. It's a little massage. And then we're going to release the tennis balls. Go ahead and place them on the side. And you can use your roller or place your hands on the front. Coming to tabletop, tucking those toes under, and we're going to go to an upside down V or a downward facing dog. And then I just want you to pedal out your feet and just stretch it out. Move those hips. So we just rolled them. So now we want to do a little bit of dynamic movement. Let them know the muscle, the tissue, that we're going to stretch it out. So walk your feet, pedal them out. You can even flip your toes under. Our calves and hamstrings can get pretty tight when you've been working out, especially if you were targeting those areas. All right, so last one. Then we're going to lower ourselves back to the knees. Good. And go ahead and have a seat on your bottom. And then we're going to lay all the way back onto our backs again. So knees are bent, feet flat. Walk your shoulders away from your ears. Like I said, we got to get a little deeper into the stretch. So you take your left knee into the chest, flex your foot, and then start to press your left heel to the sky. Now, if you need a strap behind your thigh, you can. Or you can just hold it here, hold behind the thigh, relax those shoulders again. Start to rotate that left ankle. This is very good. Now that we've rolled, we want to get a deeper stretch to lengthen and hydrate that tissue. Option to raise your hands higher up onto the calf. You can even straighten out your left leg and let it rest on the roller if it's there or on the floor. It's up to you where it goes, because we're mainly working on hamstring and calf. So as you're holding that left leg up, you want to be feeling that hamstring stretching out as you relax your shoulders. Then you're going to start to flex your left foot. So push your toes or pull them towards your face. So you're going to start to feel the stretch up the calf. Option to reach for your toes. If you have a strap, you can always use a strap on your feet. Then start to bend your knee, but keep flexing that foot. Keep the toes down, and then try to straighten it again. Reaching for those toes, and then bend the knee again, and then straighten the toes. Good. And then we're going to hug that left knee into the chest and rotate the left ankle. You might feel some coolness going into the toes because we got some blood flowing there. Go ahead and release that left foot, place it flat on the floor, hug your right knee into the chest, and then we're going to lift that right leg up to the sky. Rotate the ankle first. And let's take a deep breath in and exhale it out. And then straighten out the left leg. Good. And feel that stretch through the right hamstring. Now we're going to flex the right foot. Pull the toe towards your face. Maybe walk your hands higher up. Again, I just give options. I want you to listen to your body, go where it feels good to go. Maybe reach for your toe or use a strap. And then we're going to slightly bend the knee, pull that foot towards the face still, and then straighten out that leg again. And just notice one leg might be way tighter than the other. And that's okay. It just means it needs a little more attention, a little more extra stretching. And the more you roll, the less it hurts, the more flexible you're going to get. And then release. Good. Give that knee a hug. Now you're going to take your foam roller and you're going to bring it all the way up behind you. I'm like trying to get my roller. Go ahead and lift yourself up and place that roller behind your shoulder blades. Place your feet flat on the floor. Good, and let's bring the fingertips behind the ears. And we're just going to roll the upper back to start with. Lift those hips, and we're going to roll all the way down towards the shoulders and then all the way back up, or vice versa. So the roller is going about middle of the back, right where your belly button would go through to the middle. A nice little chiropractic adjustment possibly here. Elbows are wide. Now we're going to pause right in the middle of those shoulder blades. Go ahead and lower the hips. I want you to drop your hips slightly to the right and lean just a little to the right and get that right shoulder blade. Just a small little roll up and down. Option to lift the hips up, or you can roll even further all the way into that right armpit. And then back. I know I switched it up. We were doing left and now we're doing right. That's because we need to change things up. We just never know. Be able to go with the flow. And I want to start with the right because most people, not all, some are right-handed, so you might have some more spots on the right. Spend a little extra time over here on that right shoulder because when you use the mouse on that computer, maybe you're recovering from too much time at a desk. Maybe it's too much activity, whatever you were, if you were golf or tennis, and you've been really using, if you're right-handed, using that shoulder. Whatever sporting activity. Continue rocking, good. And then back to center. Lift those hips, let's roll the upper back. Fingertips wide, supporting the head. Good, find the middle, lower those hips. Now we're going to go to the left side. So stay there, just roll to your left side. I'm just flipping over. So I'm still facing you. Drop to that left hip. And then just do a little rock side to side, right back on that shoulder blade, that left shoulder blade. And then when you're ready, you can roll all the way into that left armpit. Again, being mindful if you have any lymph nodes missing, you don't want to roll into that area. If this is too sensitive, you can always place a towel. If your roller is really a hard density, a towel will help soften it. And just a little nice rock and roll into that chest or armpit, and then back into that shoulder blade. Last one. Good. Now from here, we're going to take a child's pose and stretch out that upper back. So come up and separate the knees, feet together. We're going to bring the arms forward on the roller and lower the head to the floor and just pause here. feel the stretch through that upper back. Feels so good. And then slowly lift the upper body. Keep your right hand on the roller and bring your left arm underneath, palm up, and just stretch it a little deeper, that upper back. Wiggle those fingers. And then slowly come up, switching hands. Take your right arm underneath and lower it to the floor. Stretch it out. Wiggle those right fingers. Good. And then we're coming up. Now you're going to bring the roller close to your knees, and we're going to switch it up and go to quads. Of course, I save the best for last. We got quads, and then we've got some shoulder and neck stuff we're going to get to. So you're really going to be nice and loose and ready to take on whatever activity you have next. You'll be nice and recovered. So bring the roller underneath your thighs. Come to a plank position. Relax your feet as much as you can, and then you're going to roll yourself forward and back 1 inch. So right along those thighs, try to relax the feet as much as you can. Bringing the feet to hang, maybe wiggle them a little as you move forward and back. And then walk your elbows backwards 1 inch. And so the roller moves up your thigh 1 inch and move forward and back. I want you to really think about breathing and relaxing your legs as much as possible. I know, way easier said than done. Walk your elbows back, move that roller up. So just gradually moving the roller up the thigh as you move forward and back 1 inch. Massaging out any tender spots, any adhesions or stuck fascia tissue or crystallized tissue. Think of like a knot, and then when you massage it out, you're getting things, all the tissue to run the same way. We're getting oxygen and nutrients there. Mostly just like a sponge, squeezing out a sponge, and then it can get the new fresh water in it and the nutrients. Keep moving on up, walking it back, shoulders relaxed. A little bit higher. So you just move your way up. Some of you might be done already if you have shorter legs. Some of you have a ways to go if you have longer legs. Just take your time, go at your pace. And then when you're done, we're going to sit back into another child's pose just to stretch those quads a little and notice the difference in the back as well. So I'm at the top. So when you're done, separate your knees, feet together. Bring the hands nice and wide on that roller, and stretch out the back, the shoulders, the quads. Let your head rest on the floor and breathe. Good, and then we're going to come all the way back up, and we are going to foam roll the quads one more time. Like I said, this is about recovery, so we're going a little deeper into those quads. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring the roller back to the top of the knees, and this time let's walk the legs wide. And we're going to bring the knees up so at 90 degrees. Try to relax your feet, and then just pull the belly in. And just, again, we're going to roll forward and back, side up, and then you're going to rock your feet and crisscross your legs and bring them back up. Good. And then bring the legs straight, and then windshield wipe your feet. Right there. Good. Then walk the elbows back, bend the knees, crisscross those legs. Not too bad. And then straighten out the legs. And then windshield wipe your feet. So just a little pressure right there. And then walk the elbows back, bend the knees, crisscross those feet a few times, maybe 2 to 4 times, and then straighten out the legs, windshield wipe your feet. Good. And then walk your elbows back, bend the knees. It might feel a little more sensitive as you get higher up those quads. Crisscross the feet and open, And then straighten out the legs, windshield wipe your feet. Good. And then walk the elbows back. Just very tiny little movements. Bend the knees, crisscross them. Good. And then straighten them. Windshield wipe your feet. And then up a little higher. And if you can't go any higher, that's fine. Just pause there. If you need to go a little more, keep going. And then straighten the legs, windshield wipe. Now, if you're done, you can follow me. If not, just catch up. You're going to walk your elbows forward, and you're going to roll the roller back to the top of the knees. Good. You're going to bend those knees again, but this time you're going to draw them really wide, and you're going to crisscross your feet. Good. And then we're going to gently roll our body backwards, so the roller goes up the thighs, and then back forward towards our elbows. So we're getting a little more of the inside part of that, a little bit of the inner thigh and the medial head of that quad. Forward and back a few times, and then I want you to crisscross your feet the opposite way. So the opposite leg is on top, forward and back. Hello, inner thighs, right? Especially down there by the knee. A lot of attachments on that side, right in there. Good, and then once you get down back to the knees, do a little straighten and bend of the legs. So the toes are reaching out to the sides, and you're pulling your heels in together and doing a little mini crisscross. And then when you're done, walk your knees back in together and slide back off of the roller, coming to a tabletop position. Good. Now you're going to take your roller and turn it longwise on your mat, and then you're going to straddle the roller. Now you have a couple options here. You can keep the knee slightly bent, and you can bring one leg up and sit back. If that's comfortable, you can keep both legs, heels, the bottoms of the tops of the feet back on the roller and just lean back. It's a little extra stretch. If that's too much on the knees, just you can do one at a time. So just a nice way to stretch that, not only the bottom of the quad by the knee, but up by the hip flexor. And some of you might be super flexible and be able to go all the way down to the floor with the knee bent. And you can even use that roller to lean back on. And some of you might be able to do both. Again, options, everybody's at different places, so I'm just showing options for a great stretch after recovery yoga, a recovery roller. And then this is a yoga move to just help really stretch out those areas and get the bottoms of the top of the ankle and the quad, the knee, the hip. It just feels so good. Now, if you're on one leg, go ahead and switch to the other leg so they both get stretched out. If you're doing one at a time, so you want to make sure that we stretch out both. All right, so then when you're done with that, you're going to come up and then take a tabletop. Go ahead, tuck the toes back underneath and just sit your heels back, hips back on your heels, and just wiggle those heels. Just a little extra stretch through that Achilles tendon. And then we're going to bring that roller back across the mat this time, not long way, it's going across this time. All right, and then we're going to turn around onto our bottoms. Now we're going to go to put the head on the roller. So be mindful of if you have long hair, the roller will eat your hair, so you might want to put it up or a ponytail out of the way. And you're going to lay with your head on the roller like a pillow, nice and comfy. All right. Feels so good. Hips are on the floor, knees bent, feet flat. Could just stay here all day, right? Pull those shoulders away from the ears. So the roller is on the back of your head and a little bit on the neck. Now we never roll the vertebrae of the neck, so I want you to turn your head just slightly, very slightly to your left. So you're going on that left occipital bone, and you might even adjust the roller so you're hitting a little bit of the muscle on the left side of the neck, just in the very back part. Good. And once you're there, just start to nod your head. Yes. Massaging the muscle, the occipital bone. And breathing. And then draw your head side to side like you're saying no. Right there on that spot. Good. Now I want you to pause where you are. And then just bring your left hand on top of your head, keeping the head right where it is, and draw your chin to your chest a little and use your head to help. And make adjustments. Pull your head just gently whichever way feels good. Maybe you're pulling it slightly to the right, but you're staying on the left side. And start to lift your chin up, but staying with your head tilted to the left. Just try different stretches and then release the head back to neutral, and then take your head and turn it to the right just slightly. So if you want, go back to center and then just barely turn it to the right, and you're going to feel that occipital bone. And adjust it so it's hitting the little bit of the back of the neck, and then start to nod your head yes. And breathe. And again, you're not pushing so hard that you're cutting off blood flow or oxygen to the brain. You don't want to do that. Make it comfortable, and then nod your head no. And then little circles. Good. Draw that chin down. Place your left hand on the head. Maybe add a little assistance. And then start to lift your chin, keeping your head to the right, but pull it gently to the left, just slightly. And then releasing the head, coming back to neutral. So now you're going to bring that roller higher up onto the back of the head. And we still have 2 tennis balls on the shoulder things we're going to do very last, just to tie it all together and really loosen things up. So the back of your head is on the roller. Hold the outside edges of your roller and draw your head left and across the back to the right. So when you turn your head, you're going to go right above the ears, massaging the back of the head. Oh, it feels so good, doesn't it? Side to side. Not pushing too hard, enough that you can feel that nice little massage. One more time, side to side. I want you to keep your head to the left and nod yes. So you're massaging right above the ear. And continue holding on to the roller. Maybe move your hands higher up, holding the upper outside of the roller, or make your arms cactus arms, and then really turn your head all the way to the left. And feel that stretch through the right shoulder, the right side of the neck. Draw your chin slightly down towards your chest. Take a breath. And then exhale, release. Good. And then slowly turn your head to the right. And do a little nod, yes. And with your head to the right, turn it a little deeper, a little more. Feel the stretch to the left side. Draw your chin down towards the chest. And then release to neutral. Good. And then bring your head back to neutral. Excellent. Good. Now, from here, let's take that foam roller out from underneath the head. And if your tennis balls are close, this is where you're going to want to grab your tennis balls. And we're going to bring the roller underneath our knees, because we're going to eventually move it under the hips. So I need to grab my tennis balls. So you can have 2 tennis balls and your foam roller. We're tying it all together now. So both tennis balls, pretend like you have a backpack on. And the tennis balls are going to go right where the straps of your backpack would go, but you're laying on your back. So you're going to tuck them in nice and tight right at the base of your shoulders there, if there was a backpack strap right there. From here, you're going to walk the feet in close to the hips, lift your hips so you can roll that roller underneath your hips, and those tennis balls are getting a little more pressure right there from the hips being up. Now, if this is super intense, you're staying here. I'm going to give you different options. Again, listen to your body. Start to lift the arms to the sky. Palms face each other. That might be plenty. You might be really feeling it. Make adjustments if it's more on one side than the other. Take a breath in. Now, as you exhale, let the thumbs fall towards the back of your head. Elbows stay straight. And then just pause. Wherever it feels okay to pause. If you're feeling any pain, bring the arms higher up to the ceiling. And if you can, just let your arms start to drift backwards very slowly towards the floor. Now when you get back to the floor, maybe you can let your palms go up and the back of your hands rest on the floor. Maybe your arms don't go that far because of tension in the neck and the shoulders. That's okay. Maybe you need to leave your arms like halfway up in the air. And just breathe here. Inhale and exhale. Let the tennis balls do the work, massaging into those shoulders. Good. And you want to be able to leave them, stay in this position for a little while, breathing, trying to relax. And then you're going to take your arms up slowly, back to the sky. Let's see if we can work out some of that tension. So just take the right arm only over the head, left hand goes to the hip. And then slowly switch and reverse other side. And notice the difference. One shoulder might have more range of motion than the other. And then switch. So just a couple more, and this is very slow movement. Again, this is about recovery, improving our range of motion, getting those muscles to lengthen and relax. Last one. Now let's take both arms up to the sky again, and then start to let them float backwards over your head. Arms stay straight, and then just pause again. If they can go to the floor, then let them go there. If not, just leave them in the sky. Another breath, and then relax. Notice what tension's going on. And you're going to start to bend your elbows and make cactus arms if your arms are on the floor. And then slide them back up overhead. And now no matter where you are, push more weight into that roller. And I want you to lift and take the left tennis ball out and then the right tennis ball out from under your shoulders. And just place them to the side. And then reach the arms back up overhead. And then let them float all the way to the floor behind your head, straight arms. I bet it's way easier to get there now, huh? And then press your feet into the floor, lift your hips off the roller, reach your arms down to press the roller out of the way so you can lower your hips all the way back down to the floor. And then we're going to hug both knees into the chest. And as you're hugging the knees, you can hold the wrist or you can hold the elbows and you can come up and press those shoulders away from the ears as you hug the knees and bring your nose to the knees. Now you're slowly going to roll up. Place your feet flat on the floor, knees bent. So we're going to get a little extra stretch here. Bring your hands underneath the knees, both arms. Make two fists, or you can interlace the fingers. And then walk your feet forward so the legs are pressing down on the arms, whether they're in a fist or interlaced. And then lengthen through the spine. Lift up nice and tall. So you're really getting a stretch here through the shoulders. And then drop your right ear to the right shoulder. And just breathe. Draw your chin towards your chest. And feel that stretch through the left side of the neck. And then come back to center. Chin is level. And then drop your left ear to the left shoulder. And chin to chest just slightly. A little extra stretch. Good. And then back to center. Chin all the way to the chest. And then back to neutral. And then go ahead and release the arms and give a couple shoulder rolls. And now we're going to take that roller longwise again, last final full body stretch. And we're going to sit up longwise on that roller. So sit your tailbone at one end and you're going to lay all the way back so your head is supported at the other end of the roller. So your head is never hanging off the roller. Your whole body is supported. Feet are flat on the floor. Knees are bent. And walk your feet in about hip distance apart. And you can bring your fingertips to the floor, just the fingertips, and feel your shoulder blades wrapping around that roller. And then we're going to let the arms float all the way up to the sky. Fingertips facing up, palms in, and then reach the right arm overhead, left hand to the hip. And then take 2 full breaths here, just really stretching and lengthening. And on your second breath, switch the arms. And really reach both directions. Take a deep breath in and out. Good, and then now you're going to alternate the arms, just a few sweeps up and down, alternating the arm reaches. Last one. And then both arms come up to center. And then open the arms wide out to the side, reaching those arms. And then bend the elbows like cactus arms. Feel those shoulder blades again wrapping around the roller. And notice and get that stretch in the chest wall. And then let your head turn gently to the left. Look to your left. Feel the stretch through the right side. Pull that right elbow down just slightly towards the rib cage. And then back to center. Let your head go to the right. Pull that left arm down just slightly. Stretching is key to recovery. And then back to center. Slide both arms straight overhead, reaching behind you. All the way, full body stretch. Maybe even hook the thumbs. And then release the arms all the way back down to the body, next to the body on the floor. Shoulders relaxed. Good. Place your right foot firmly on the floor and extend your left leg all the way up to the sky. Feel that core. Feel that lengthening of the hamstring and the calf. And then point the toes, slowly lower it all the way down. Bend the knee and place that foot flat on the floor. Good. Firmly press your left leg into the floor. Raise your right leg, not your right arm, right leg, and little ankle rotations. Flex that foot. Push the heel all the way up to the sky. And then point the toes, slowly lower it down. And when it gets straight out from your body, bend the knee, place that foot flat on the floor. Take a deep breath in, exhale it out. Extend your left leg straight out from your hip without touching the floor, and flex your foot, pull the belly in, reach your right arm overhead, opposite arm, opposite leg, and just hold it here. Full body stretch. Now point your left toe. Breathe in. And on your exhale, relax. Place the foot on the floor and the right hand on the floor. Let's try the other side. Maintaining that balance, extend the right leg out, flex the foot. So balance is also key. Extend the left arm overhead. We want to maintain our flexibility and our balance. Breathe through it. Feel that full body stretch, reaching the arm, pushing the heel. Now point the toe. And then exhale and release. Excellent. Let the body just wrap and relax around that roller for a moment. And you can stay here longer if you'd like. It's up to you. Or you can roll off the side and work your way up to a seated posture. And sit up nice and tall. You can sit on a block or blanket. Relax your arms on your thighs. Find your posture, chin in alignment. And just see how everything feels now. Hopefully we worked out some of the main muscle groups and got them all stretched out and ready to go. Take a deep breath. Inhale, reach those arms. Exhale, palms to heart space. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.